Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Yoruus speaking and welcome to Play by Email 6, turn 40. So I did kill the evil barbarian that was here, trying to mess with me just a tiny little bit. Now let's count it correctly. I've got 8 turns, so that's gonna be 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Alright, so I will have to plan before I will get the policy. I will not want to wait too much for this to actually happen. We shall see. Oh, did he actually buy? No, that happened last turn, right? That he bought Old Faithful. So not bad. Alright, let's scoot away. Animations are off, so my hero scout will finally go north and explore the land just a little bit. We're gonna start off with a mine on another silver. And you gotta heal up. Maybe you'll get just a tiny little bit HP next turn. You should be having 66. He didn't move this turn, so he should heal one turn, right? So that's at least 10 HP or 15 HP. Well, we shall see, but he should heal a little bit. And I think that's very, very important for me. And the Pantheon, 6 turns away. Oh, so gruesome with that Pantheon. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's check out demographics real quickly. Germany, second city, not a surprise, and still building up settlers. I'm still less at food, but that will change eventually. Basically, I'm a little bit sad about demographics, a little bit average at hammers, less at army size, somebody's literacy already. It's not looking that great. Yes, slow tradition start theoretically, but ruins probably did mess me up a little bit. I intend to agree that not having a second scout was quite detrimental. Maybe even actually getting the monument first was quite detrimental. Instead of the monument, maybe 1 or 2 scouts. And the shrine is not really paying off just yet. Well, hopefully with the Silver Pantheon it will finally start paying off, but it will need some time to actually kick in. But let's have hopes that everything is gonna work out well, and also let's have hope that I can potentially buy the marble. I have my doubts though, but I would really love to buy the marble, but that's gonna take so much darn time to actually get in here. Right, let's check out the comments. Mr. Awesome Pooper, that Pantheon taking so long is giving me agony. And it's going to be massive. Yeah, that Pantheon gives me agony as well. All the shrine rush and all that stuff with the Fate Pantheon. I was expecting that I will not get like 3 Pantheons first, but getting a 6th Pantheon is like, oh, what could possibly happen in the other side of the world that I'm having my Pantheon as a 6th person? That's really amazing. That's really amazing. Now, the answer to that comment is from Fearsome Warrior. It will be fade away because of East Roman Empire. And Yoruus Pro will not be getting a religion. He will get a prophet and planet. He likes to do so now. Well, I don't agree with that, because Byzantine as it stands does not have a Pantheon. And it will not have a good Pantheon because Quarry Pantheon is already taken. So I'm not afraid about this side. Germany Pantheon is +1 culture from pastures. So there's 7 religions to be founded. I don't expect obviously to compete with religion to Celts or Ethiopia, but I do believe that I have a fair chance. If I get the Silver Pantheon, I have a fair chance to get a religion nevertheless, because it will be eventually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra fade a turn. It should give me a religion. It should give me a religion. Of course, I might be wrong. Maybe I should invest into Shrine as well. But first the economy and then the rest. We're basically playing glass cannon anyways right now, with getting tradition on such a huge map. But I just feel that tradition will kick in here, and the extra social policies that I will be able to get with tradition for now, it's great, especially on this kind of map. I really hope that Germany will think more about Byzantine than me, and that I don't have more neighbors. It would be so much better if I actually were able to put a scout on this side, but I'm not, so we'll have to deal with what we have right now. and our priority is obviously getting the economy done. Now I'm finishing a tech next turn. There's one more comment. Creepy OU 812. Something is different about your green screen. Yes, something was different about my green screen. I was on a delegation at work, so I was actually recording in a hotel room. So now I'm back home, so the green screen is here. We need to make a straw poll right now, and I'm gonna make a straw poll about the technology choice. Where shall we go next? Now, as you can probably notice, somebody is at trapping and somebody is at sailing. So let's figure this out quite clearly. Where should we go first? Now, I don't necessarily want to research the texts already researched, well, that are not researched yet. Knowing the iron will be cool, absolutely cool, will maybe allow me to see some more good stuff next turn. But where are we going to go next from here? Now I'm gonna get, why this is changed out a little bit, granary. Did I mess up the queue? And before this, I believe I did. Probably I was checking out the food, right? So I think about the scout, but I don't want to delay the settler just yet, so I'm gonna focus on the settlers. So I've got a settler, 1 turn, 10 turns, that's 17 turns build up. So actually going for sailing is not necessarily a good idea just yet, especially that the other cities actually will have a need of a granary. But then on the other node, after a granary, I would potentially need 2 triremes, right, as my next units actually. So the other cities will need to get granaries up and running. I will need to get maybe a worker. Well, actually I was a little bit tempted about building a worker in one city, the Marble City, and getting some different stuff in my capital at the moment. But now we have to basically, we need to think and we need to decide what's going to be our tech path and what's going to be our priority on buildings, right? We've got around 16 turns to decide about a couple of things. So I put a straw poll in this particular turn. Where do we go next? My preference is sailing. First of all, it's already researched by someone. Yeah, it's not really that big, like it's 2 science, but it's always something, right? It's always something. So I would like to go for sailing, and to have that option to put a little bit hammers into a trireme here and there if I really want to do so. I mean, like the first building that I want to build in my expansion is obviously a granary. But my capital will need to fix some stuff later on, and probably before I can use any other techs from like building military units or stuff like that, or building even archers. Yeah, maybe even archer. Well, I put into consideration 2 choices. 2 choices. Sailing, archery, and perhaps calendar, because I currently have that resource to improve. Well, alright, I'll be totally fair with this. Since we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 texts that we can choose on next. So let's decide between masonry, archery, trapping, writing, calendar, and sailing. Now I am leaning towards sailing or archery. Now I'm gonna put basically why sailing. Sailing because I can theoretically sneak in a trireme at some point. If we're gonna go for any other tech tree, I will not be able to get sailing after the granary. It's 18 turns, right? If I counted right, that's 17 turns, alright? So 17 turns will not allow me to research any other tech and then sailing and be able to build a trireme. And we're not going to go for a worker first, and we want to work on the cargo ships first, which seems a little bit better in my opinion. Then I will want to get 2 triremes first and start boosting up cargo ships instantly in my capital to get 2 cargo ships between those 2 cities ASAP, right? And 2 triremes, 1 trireme somewhere in here. Oh my goodness, excuse me, I'm still coughing like crazy. So 1 trireme in here and 1 trireme in here to block off any barb possibilities, so they will not snatch my cargo ships. And I am leaning toward that, so kind of sailing allows me to build a trireme after the granary right away. And if I'm going to research any other tech, I could sneak in archery. I do believe we could sneak in archery in between, so we could go archery into sailing. That's 20 turns. 20 turns will allow me to build another scout in my capital, for example, or a warrior to have some sort of map control, or put a little bit hammers into a worker, for example. So we could go, I'm leaning like archery, sailing, but I'm putting all those options into the vote for now. So this is going to be the straw poll, and I believe in a couple of turns we could decide. Alright, I'm gonna make the straw poll right now in this turns as well. Well, no, not in this turn, because I want you to give me ideas in the comments that I can put into straw poll. What are we going to build in our capital after the granary? I believe settler granary is needed. We're gonna have a scout for this side. He's approaching this side. He's a very well promoted scout with vision. So until I free up the queue in my capital, I actually will be able, the scout should be probably somewhere around in here. I still have the warrior to do something around here, protect from any barbs that will try to get here to reach my scout, for example. So I also have that, and hopefully it will be enough. So I think after a granary in my capital, we need to build something. I'm leaning toward 2 triremes as soon as possible and cargo ships as soon as possible to get those cargo ships up and running, and in my expansions to get granaries. But that's just my idea. The other idea is getting archery first into sailing, so I can build 1 or 2 archers, well actually 1 archer in my expansion. This expansion, while it will be growing, to get a unit in here to maybe find a barb camp and actually start farming it, because this city actually does not need a granary just yet. It will be the slow growing city, so it will have to work the tiles that are around in here, so like 2 horses, stone, cow first probably, into maybe marble later on, before it will get a granary. So this city theoretically is free to build up something else than a granary. So archery could be useful in that. So let's sum it up. I'm going to put a straw poll about the next tech path. I'm leaning towards archery into sailing, so we can get an archer in my first expansion and triremes after finishing a granary in my capital. And in a couple of turns we could talk about the actual build order in the capital, though I don't think that there's any other viable option than actually going 2 triremes into 2 cargo ships to basically get our empire up and running. Right? Now, if we don't want an archer in the second city, we can start off a worker. So, but I think archery wouldn't hurt, like archery in a worker or something like that in the second city, and in the third city, granary as soon as possible. And after cargo ships, we're probably gonna need a couple of workers to start the economy going really well. And at that point, we can probably switch into masonry, so we can get the quarries up and running. Then we can get calendar to get stoneworks in the cities and all that crucial stuffs, and then we probably can think about going to NC as quickly as possible. Alright, so the straw poll is, where do we go next with our tech path? Alright, so I guess that's it for this turn then. So thank you very much for watching, and I wish you a good day, good night, good evening, depending on the time zone you're in, and as usual, best wishes. Yoruus out.